When studying the community of organisms in a particular ecosystem, ecologists place them into various groups based on certain characteristics in order to make them easier to understand. The most basic of these are the natural breeding groups called populations. A population is a group of the same species of organism that shares the same environment. The term species refers to organisms that are able to interbreed and produce fertile offspring. For example, in certain ecosystems, it is possible to find two distinct populations of frogs. There is a population made up of the species of small frogs like this one that dwell in trees, and another population of a different species of larger frogs that prefer to dwell in ponds. Because they belong to different species, a male tree frog and a female pond frog are unable to mate and cannot produce living offspring like those seen here. The success of certain biological processes, such as mating and obtaining food, also depends on having populations of a large enough size. For example, certain butterflies need good-sized populations of particular flowering plants to get enough food to support an adequate breeding population. Big changes in certain populations often indicate big ecological problems. For example, when the West Nile virus kills off ravens, the populations of the rodents and insects they eat will automatically increase. And when non-native species, such as European zebra mussels, invade ecosystems like those in the Great Lakes, various native species get crowded out and can be brought to the brink of extinction. Different populations interact with other members of their ecological community in different ways, depending on their own particular needs. For example, maple trees require a lot of light to support their life processes and produce dense canopies of leaves high above the forest floor in order to gather the sun's energy. Their leaves create a shady habitat for plants such as ferns that don't do well in a lot of sunlight. A habitat is the particular place in which an organism lives. Besides their physical habitats, organisms also occupy distinct niches within the ecosystem as well. A niche is the unique role an organism plays in its community or environment. For example, this clownfish occupies a very special niche in certain coral reef ecosystems. Clownfish are not affected by the stinging tentacles of sea anemones and live among them without fear. In other words, sea anemones provide a safe habitat for clownfish. At the same time, part of the role or niche of the clownfish in the community of coral reef organisms is to act as bait, luring other fish into the sea anemone's mouth where they can be stung and eaten.